Hello, and welcome to another edition of NBN Wheel of Tales. Tonight, the Wheel of Tales spins a tale of talent, love, and forgiveness. So, grab your blankets and your hot cocoa or a chill drink if you will. You are gonna need it. Sandra had not been to her family home in 7 years, not since Soki broke up with her 2 days before Christmas. Her work was largely responsible for her absence, but in truth, she didn't just want to run into him again. So, now that she was going to open her own company and news that Soki moved out of the neighborhood 2 years ago made it safe to return. Truly, the feeling of home was next to none. Sandra felt more alive than she had felt in years and got herself involved in various community activities for Christmas. She was to lead a solo carol performance on Christmas Eve and couldn't wait to meet the new pianist. She stood in the rehearsal space, waiting, and was stone cold when she saw Soki. The Christmas Eve event planner introduced him as the pianist. It took Sandra's mother's words and a strong voice of self-reason to convince Sandra to go through with the rehearsal with Soki. To Sandra's shock, Soki conducted himself with the utmost respect and professionalism. It was 3 days to the event when she found out something amusing. She went in early for rehearsal and found him singing. He never sang when she knew him, and now he wasn't just singing, he sang so well. She suggested they surprise the audience and make it a duet midway. They spent the next 2 days going out together as friends, trying to let go of the past. Soki, still carrying the regret of his actions years ago, couldn't help but talk about your past, despite Sandra's plea not to open that chapter. The conversation had Sandra fired up and she stormed out saying she was going to sing without a pianist and he could go back to his city. At the dawn of Christmas Eve, Sandra found out from a store owner that Soki's mother was in fact responsible for their breakup, saying that they had a huge argument in front of her store and he was given an ultimatum which led to their breakup. Understanding now that Soki fought hard to get himself stable as a man and break away from his mother's will, Sandra tried to reach him but heard that he had left town as she requested. It was time for her to sing, and Sandra, though with a heavy heart, stepped onto the stage. Her voice, so sweet and soothing, filled the wide hall and flowed into the night sky. The sound of the piano nearly startled her as she turned to find Soki playing the piano. He wore a body mic, and the moment he began to sing, his voice became one with hers. It was clear to her and everyone present that they were destined together. Now, from the gossip I got from the storekeeper, Sandra and Soki are married and made it a tradition to sing together every Christmas Eve. And that brings us to the end of our tale tonight, folks. We hope to see you in our next edition of NBN Wheel of Tales. Happy New Year.